Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Magnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapatakalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bando Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्याय देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Jai Shila Prabhupada. Okay, so today we continue first canto, chapter 1, text number 16. Kuva bhagavatastasya punya shloketya karmanaha shuddhikamo na shrunuyad yashaha malapaham kaha who va rather bhagavata of the Lord tasya his punya virtues shlokedya worshipable by prayers karmanaha deeds shuddhikama desiring deliverance from all sins not shrunuyat thus hear yashaha glories kali of the age of quarrel malapaham the agent of satisfaction. Translation: who is there, desiring deliverance from the vices of the age of Kali, who is not willing to hear the glories of the Lord? Purport: the age of Kali is the most condemned age due to its quarrelsome features. Kali Yuga is so saturated with vicious habits that there is great fight at the slightest misunderstanding. Those who are engaged in the pure devotional service of the Lord, who are without any desire for aggrandizement, and who are freed from the effects of fruitive actions and dry philosophical speculations, are capable of getting out of the estrangements. How is this pronounced? Estrangement.
Estrangements.
Yes, bro. Thank you so much. Of this complicated age. The leaders of the people are very much anxious to live in peace and friendship, but they have no information of the simple method of hearing the glories of the Lord. On the contrary, such leaders are opposed to the propagation of the glories of the Lord. In other words, the foolish leaders want to completely deny the existence of the Lord. In the name of secular state, such leaders are enacting various plans every year, but by the insurmountable intricacies of the material nature of the Lord, all these plans for progress are being constantly frustrated. They have no eyes to see that their attempts at peace and friendship are failing. But here is the hint to get over the hurdle. If we want actual peace, we must open the road to understand the Supreme Lord Krishna and glorify him for his virtuous activities as they are depicted in the pages of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Tasya karmani udarani parigitani shuribi Bruhina Shraddhadananam Leelaya Dadhata Kala. Tasya, his, karmani, transcendental acts, udarani, magnanimous, parigitani, broadcast, suribihi, by the great souls, bruhi, please speak, naha, unto us, shraddhadananam, ready to receive with respect, lilaya, pastimes, dadataha, advented, kalaha, incarnations. Translation. His transcendental acts are magnificent and gracious, and great learned sages like Narada sing of them. Please therefore speak to us who are eager to hear about his adventures, which he performs in his various incarnations. Purport. The personality of Godhead is never inactive, as some less intelligent persons suggest. His works are magnificent and magnanimous. His creations, both material and spiritual, are all wonderful and contain all variegatedness. They are described nicely by such liberated souls as Srila Narada, Vyasa, Valmiki, Devala, Asita, Madhva, Sri Chaitanya, Ramanuja, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, Sridhara, Vishvanatha, Baladeva, Bhaktivinod, Siddhanta Saraswati, and many other learned and self-realized souls. These creations, both material and spiritual, are full of opulence, beauty, and knowledge. But the spiritual realm is more magnificent due to its being full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity. The material creations are manifested for some time as perverted shadows of the spiritual kingdom and can be likened to cinemas. So this is like movie. The material creations are manifested for some time as perverted shadows of the spiritual kingdom and can be likened to cinemas. They attract people of less intelligent caliber who are attracted by false things. Such foolish men have no information of the reality, and they take it for granted that the false material manifestation is the all in all. But more intelligent men, guided by sages like Vyasa and Narada, know that the eternal kingdom of God is more delightful, larger, and eternally full of bliss and knowledge. Those who are not conversant with the activities of the Lord and his transcendental realm are sometimes favored by the Lord in his adventures as incarnations wherein he displays the eternal bliss of his association in the transcendental realm. Those who are not conversant with the activities of the Lord and his transcendental realm are sometimes favored by the Lord in his adventures as incarnations wherein he displays the eternal bliss of his association in the transcendental realm. By such activities, he attracts the conditioned souls of the material world. Some of these conditioned souls are engaged in the false enjoyment of material senses, and others in simply negating their real life in the spiritual world. These less intelligent persons are known as karmis or fruity workers, and the others are known as gyanis or dry mental speculators. But above these two classes of man is the transcendentalist known as sattvata, or the devotee who is neither busy with rampant material activity nor with the material speculation. He is engaged in the positive service of the Lord, and thereby he derives the highest spiritual benefit unknown to the karmis and gyanis. As the supreme controller of both the material and spiritual worlds, the Lord has different incarnations of unlimited categories. Incarnations like Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, Vyasa, and so on are his material qualitative incarnations. But his incarnations like Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, Vamana, and so on are his transcendental incarnations.
Oh, I don't know this, Prabhu. It's very interesting.
Yes, Prabhu. Incarnations like Brahma, Rudra, Manu, Prithu, Vyasa, and so on are his material qualitative incarnations. But his incarnations like Rama, Narsimha, Varaha, Vamana, and so on are his transcendental incarnations. Lord Sri Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnation. And he is therefore the cause of all causes. Hmm. Yeah, I still don't understand these incarnations. Which one is which?
Yes, Prabhu. I thought every incarnation is transcendental.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
And
bro,
it
like
give us, but I thought USA is not like, but yes, I have, yeah, think he's also.
there is like bro sakta वैसा होता right? Sakta वैसा
Yes.
होता.
Yeah, these are like that.
Yeah.
Okay, text 18. Atyakya hi harer diman avatara kata shubha lila vidadata svairam ishvarasyatma mayaya. Atha, therefore, Akya he describe Hare of the Lord, the man, O sages one, Avatara incarnations, Kataha narratives, Shubha auspicious, Lila adventures, Vidadata performed, Svairam pastimes, Ishvarasya the supreme controllers, Atma personal, Mayaya energies. Translation. O wise Sutta, please narrate to us the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Godhead multi-incarnations. Such auspicious adventures and pastimes of the Lord are performed by his internal powers. Purport. For the creation and maintenance and destruction of the material worlds, the Supreme Lord of Personality of Godhead himself appears in many thousands of forms of incarnations, and the specific adventures found in those transcendental forms are all auspicious. But those who are present during such activities and those who hear the transcendental narrations of such activities are benefited. वायं तु न वितृप्यामा उत्तमश्लोकविक्रमे यच्छृण्वातं रसज्ञानं स्वादु स्वादु पदे पदे Vayam we too but na not vitripyama shall be at rest. Uttama shloka, the person of Godhead who is glorified by transcendental prayers. Vikrame adventurers. Yat which srinvatam by continuous hearing. Rasa humor. Gyanam those who are conversant with. Svadu relishing. Svadu palatable. Pade pade in every step. Translation. We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who enjoy association with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. Purport. There is a great difference between mundane stories, fiction, or history, and the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The histories of the whole universe contain references to the pastimes of the incarnations of the Lord. The Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Puranas are histories of bygone ages recorded in connection with the pastimes of the incarnations of the Lord and therefore remain fresh even after repeated readings. For example, anyone may read Bhagavad Gita or the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam repeatedly throughout his whole life and yet find in them new light of information. Mundane news is static, whereas transcendental news is dynamic. Inasmuch as the spirit is dynamic and matter is static, those who have developed a taste for understanding the transcendental subject matter are never tired of hearing such narrations. One is quickly satiated by mundane activities, but no one is satiated by the transcendental or devotional activities. Uttama Shloka indicates that literature which is not meant for nescience. Mundane literature is in the mode of darkness or ignorance, whereas the transcendental literature is quite different. Transcendental literature is above the mode of darkness, and its light becomes more luminous with progressive reading and realization of the transcendental subject matter. The so-called liberated persons are never satisfied by the repetition of the words Aham Brahmasmi. Such artificial realization of Brahman becomes hackneyed. And so, to relish real pleasure, they turn to the narrations of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Those who are not so fortunate turn to altruism and worldly philanthropy. This means Mayavada philosophy is mundane, whereas the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is transcendental. Carry ball, one more. Kritavan kila karmani saha ramena keshava atimartyani bhagavan guda kapatamanusaha. Kritavan done by kila what and what karmani acts saha along with Ramena Balaram Keshava Sri Krishna Atimartyani superhuman Bhagavan the person of Godhead Gudaha must as Kapata apparently Manusha human being. Translation: Lord Sri Krishna, the person of Godhead, and Balaram played like human beings, and so must they performed many superhuman acts. Purport: The doctrines of anthropomorphism or that of zoomorphism are never applicable to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. So this anthropomorphism means the attribution of human characteristic or behavior to a god, animal, or object. Zoomorphism means having or representing animal forms or gods or animal form. The theory that a man becomes God by dint of penance and austerity is very much rampant nowadays, especially in India. Since Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, and oh, what did I do? Ah. Since Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were detected by the sages and saints by the personality of Godhead as indicated in revealed scriptures, many unscrupulous men have created their own incarnations. This process of concocting an incarnation of God has become an ordinary business, especially in Bengal. Any popular personality with a few traits of mystic powers will display some feat of jugglery and easily become an incarnation of God by popular votes. They vote the God. Lord
Yes,
Shri
bro.
Krishna. Yes, bro. Lord Shri Krishna
So,
was not that type of incarnation. He was actually the person of Godhead from the very beginning of his appearance. He appeared from his so-called mother as four-armed Vishnu. Then, at the request of the mother, he became like a human child and at once left her for another devotee at Gokula, where he was accepted as the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mata. Similarly, Sri Baladev, the counterpart of Lord Sri Krishna, was also considered a human child born of another wife of Sri Vasudeva. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that his birth and deeds are transcendental, and that anyone who is so fortunate as to know the transcendental nature of his birth and deeds will at once become liberated and eligible to return to the kingdom of God. So knowledge of his transcendental nature of the birth and deeds of Lord Sri Krishna is sufficient for liberation. In the Bhagavatam, the transcendental nature of the Lord is described in 9 cantos, and in the 10th canto his specific pastimes are taken up. All this becomes known as one's reading of this literature progresses. It is important to note here, however, that the Lord exhibited his divinity even from the lap of his mother, that his deeds are all superhuman. He lifted Govardhan Hill at the age of 6. And that all these acts definitely prove him to be actually the supreme personality of Godhead. Yet, due to his mystic covering, he was always accepted as an ordinary human child by his so-called father and mother and other relatives. Whenever some Herculean task was performed by him, the father and mother took it otherwise, and they remained satisfied with unflinching filial love for their son. As such, the sages of Naimisharanya describe him as apparently resembling a human being, but actually he is the supreme almighty personality of Godhead. Okay, who wants to read the next verse?
can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Verse number 21. Kalimagatam agnaye kshetre ashwin vaishnave vayam ashiradirga saprena katayam sakshana hare Kali, the age of Kali, an age of war. Agatam, having arrived. Agnaye, knowing this. Kshetri, in this tract of land. Asmin, in this Vaishnavi, specially meant for the devotee of the Lord. Vayam, be. Ashina, seated. Dirga, prolonged. Shatrena, for performance of sacrifices. Katayam, in the words of Sakshana, with time at our disposal, Harihi, of the personality of Godhead. Translation: knowing well that the age of Kali has already begun, we are assembled here in this holy place to hear at great length the transcendental message of God and in this way perform sacrifice. Purport: this age of Kali is not at all suitable for self-realization, as was Satya Yuga, the golden age, or Treta Yuga, or the Dwapara Yugas, the silver and copper ages. For self-realization, the people in Satya Yuga, living a lifetime of 100,000 years, were able to perform prolonged meditation. And in Treta Yuga, when the duration of life was 10,000 years, self-realization was attained by performance of great sacrifice. And in the Dwapara Yuga, where the duration of life was for 1,000 years, self-realization was attained by worshipping the Lord. Yes. But in the Kali Yuga, the maximum duration of life being 100 years only, and that combined with various difficulties, the process of self-realization is recommended by hearing and chanting of the holy name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord. The sages of Naini Saranya began this process for the devotees of the Lord. So they prepared themselves to hear the pastimes of the Lord over a period of 1,000 years. By the example of the sages, one should learn that regular learning and recitation of the Bhagavatam is the only way for self-realization. Other attempts are simply a waste of time, or they do not give any tangible results. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached the system of Bhagavata Dharma, and he recommended that all those who were born in India should take the responsibility of broadcasting the messages of Lord Sri Krishna, primarily the message of Bhagavad Gita. And when one is well established in the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, he can take up the study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam for further enlightenment in self-realization. Text 22. Tvamnah sandarshito datra dustaram nistita dustaram nistiti stira tirsatam kalim satvaharam pumsam karnadara iva navam. Tvam, your goodness, unto us. Sandarshitaha, meeting, datra, by providence. Dustaram, insurmountable. Nistiti satam, or those decided to cross over. Kalim, the age of Kali. Satvaharam, that which deteriorates over the good qualities. Pumsham, of the man. Karnadaraha, captain. Iva, as Arnavam, the ocean. Translation: we think that we have met your grace by the will of providence, and thus we accept you as captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the dangerous ocean of Kali, which destroys all the good qualities of a human being. Purport: the age of Kali is very dangerous for the human being. Human life is simply meant for self-realization, but due to this dangerous age, men have completely forgotten the aim of life. In this age, the lifespan will gradually decrease. People will gradually lose their memory, finer sentiments, strength, and better qualities. A list of the anomalies for this age is given in the 12th canto of this work. And so, this age is very difficult for And so, this age is very difficult for those who want to utilize this life for self-realization. The people are so busy with sense gratification that they completely forget about self-realization. Out of madness, they frankly say that there is no need for self-realization because they do not realize that this brief life is but a moment on our great journey towards self-realization. The whole system of education is geared to sense gratification, and if a learned man thinks it over, he sees that the children of this age are being intentionally sent to the slaughterhouses of so-called education. Learned men, therefore, must be cautious of this dangerous age, and if they at all want to cross over the dangerous ocean of Kali, they must follow the footsteps of the sages of Naini Saranya and accept Sri Suta Goswami or his bona fide representative as the captain of the ship. Suta Goswami or bona fide, okay. The ship is a message of Lord Sri Krishna in the shape of Bhagavad Gita or the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Text 23. Ruhi Yogeshwar Krishne Brahmanye Dharma Varnami Swam Kastam Adinopete Dharmaha Samsaranam Kata. Ruhi, please tell. Yoga Ishwari, the Lord of all mystic powers. Krishna, Lord Krishna. Brahmanye, the absolute truth. Dharma, religion. Varmani, protector. Swam, own. Hastam, abode. Aduna, nowadays. Upete, having gone away. Dharma, religion. Come unto whom? Sharanam, shelter. Gataha, God. Translation. Now that Sri Krishna, the absolute truth, the master of all mystic powers, has departed for his own abode, please tell us by whom religious principles are presently protected. Purport. Essentially, religion is the prescribed codes enunciated by the personality of Godhead himself. Whenever there is gross misuse or neglect, if you could please scroll down. Whenever there is gross misuse or neglect of the principles of religion, the Supreme Lord appears himself to restore religious principles. This is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Here, the sages of Naimisharanya are inquiring about these principles. The reply to this question is given later. The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the transcendental sound representation of the personality of Godhead, and thus it is the full representation of the transcendental knowledge and religious principles. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the first canto, first chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Questions by the Sages. Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, Saurabh, Prabhu, you want to start the second chapter?
Yes, Prabhu. I can. Thank you, Prabhu.
We have like 20 minutes more.
Yes, Prabhu. व्यासा उवाच इति सम्प्रेषण संस्कृतो विप्राणां राहुमार्सनाहि प्रतिपूज्य वाचस्तेषां प्रभुक्तम् उवाच करमे व्यास उवाच व्यास सेट इति दास सम्प्रासना perfect inquires Samnishrita perfectly satisfied Vipranam of the sages there, Raumaharsanihi, the son of Romaharsana, namely Uprasava, Pratipujya, after thanking them, Vachaha words Tesam there, Prabhuktum to reply to them, Upachakramaha attempted translation. Ugrasrava Sutta Goswami, the son of Roma Harsana, being pleased with the questions of the Brahmanas, thanked them and attempted to reply. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The sages of Naimisharanya asked Sutta Goswami 6 questions, and so he is answering them one by one. Text number 2. Sutta Uvacha Yam प्रवर्जन्तम् अनुपेतम् अपेतकृत्यम् देव्याप्यानो विरह कतरा अजुवा पुत्रेति तन्मयत्या तरभो विनीरुस्तं सर्वभूत हृदयं मुनिम् अनतोऽस्मि सूतः सूत गोस्वामी Uvacha said, Jam, whom Pravarjantam, while going away from the renounced order of life. Anupetam, without being reformed by the sacred thread. Apeta, not undergoing ceremonies. Kritam, prescribed duties. Devya, Pyanaha, Vyasadev, Viraha, separation. Kataraha, being afraid of. Ajuva exclaimed, Putreti, O my son, Tanmayataya, being absorbed in this that way, Tarava all the trees. Abhini Dohu responded tam unto him. Sarva all Bhuta living entities. Hridayam heart. Munim says Antaha Asmi offer obeisances. Translation. Srila Sutta Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that great sage, Sukadev Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyasa, leaving home without undergoing the sacred thread ceremony, his father Vyasdeva cried out to him, O my son, indeed only the trees echoed in response to the bereaved father. Purport. The institution of Varna and Asrama prescribes many regulative duties to be observed by its followers. Such duties enjoin that a candidate willing to study the Vedas must approach a bona fide spiritual master and request acceptance as his disciple. The sacred thread is the sign of those who are competent to study the Vedas from the Acharya or the bona fide spiritual master. Yes, bro. Srila Sukadev Goswami did not undergo such a purificatory ceremony because he was a liberated soul from his birth. Okay. Generally, a man is born as an ordinary being and by the purificatory process is born for the second time. Yeah, bro, that's why there is a term called Dija, right, bro? Sang, bro.
But Prabhu, there is what?
There is a term, bro, like Dija, like twice born or something like that. Dija or something. I heard
Yes,
somewhere.
Prabhu. Yeah, yes,
Oh,
Prabhu. I forgot the word, but there is the word.
yeah, bro. When he sees a new light and seeks direction for spiritual progress, he approaches a spiritual master to instruct him in the Vedas. The spiritual master accepts only the sincere inquirer as his disciple and gives him the sacred thread. In this way, a man becomes twice born, or this is the bro. It's written here, bro. Or a Divija,
Oh, yes.
Divija, something Divija. I can't pronounce properly. After qualifying as a Divija, one may study the Vedas, and after becoming well versed in the Vedas, one become a Vipra or qualified Brahmana, thus realize the absolute and makes a further progress in spiritual life until he reaches the Vaishnava stage. The Vaishnava stage is the postgraduate status of a Brahmana. A progressive Brahmana must necessarily become a Vaishnava. For a Vaishnava is a self-realized, learned Brahmana. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a Vaishnava from the beginning. Therefore, there was no need for him to undergo all the process of the Varnasrama institution. Ultimately, the aim of Varnasrama Dharma is to turn a crude man into a pure devotee of the Lord or a Vaishnava. Anyone, therefore, who became a Vaishnava accepted by the first class Vaishnava or Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava is already considered a Brahmana. Regardless, um, uh, okay, regardless of his past, regardless of his birth or past deeds, okay. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted this principle and recognized Srila Haridasa Thakura as the Acharya of the holy name. Although Thakur Haridas appeared in a Mohammedan family, in conclusion, Srila Sukadev Goswami was a born a Vaishnava, and therefore Brahminism was included in him. He did not have to undergo any ceremonies. Any low-born person, be a Krita, Huna, Andhara, Pulinda, Pulakasaha, Abhira, Sumbha, Yavana, Khasari. So these are probably like a low class human being, right? Some
Yes,
species.
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. These are like Europeans, Philippines, all these different Brazilians, Vikings, all these other uncivilized fellows.
Yeah, even like they know like who wrote this Bhagavatam and Vyasdev, they know when he know that who are there, right? We can now clearly say who are there.
It said in the Bhagavad, there's a verse that explains which one is which. Like these Yavanas are the Greek people. They were the Kshatriyas who were kicked out from India, and then
Okay.
they went to Europe and other places of the world.
Interesting. Or even lower can be delivered to the highest transcendental position by the mercy of Vaishnavas. Srila Sukadev Goswami was the spiritual master of Sri Suta Goswami, and therefore he offers his respectful obeisances unto him before he begins his answer to the question of the sages at Naimisharanya. Yes, Prabhu. Text number 3. Ya Syanuham. These are very tough, Prabhu. Akhila Shruti Saram Ekam Adhyatma Deepam Atiti Tristam Tam Tyamondam Sarinam Karunaha Purana Guhyam Tam Vyasa Sunam Upyami Gurum Muninam. Hold on. Yeah, he who Syanubhavam, self-assimilated, experienced, Akhila, all around, Shruti, Vedas, Saram, Krim, Ekam, the only one, Adhyatma, transcendental, Deepam, torchlight, Atitristam, desiring to overcome, uh, uh, Tama, Andam, deeply dark material existence. Some serenum of the materialistic man, Korunaya, out of causeless mercy. Aha, set Purana, supplementary to the Vedas. Guhyam, very confident. Tam, unto him. Vyasa, Sunu, the son of Vyasdeva. Upyami, let me offer my obeisances, Guru, spiritual master, Munina of the great sages. Translation. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him, Suka, the spiritual master of all sages, the son of Vyasdev, who out of his great compassion for those gross materialists who struggles to cross over the darkest regions of material existence, spoke this Purana, supplement to the Vedas, the cream of Vedic knowledge after having personally assimilated it by experience. Purport. In this prayer, Srila Sutta Goswami practically summarizes the complete introduction of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the natural supplementary commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Vedanta Sutras or the Brahma Sutras were compiled by Vyasdev with a view to presenting just the cream of Vedic knowledge. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the natural commentary on this cream. Srila Sukadev Goswami was a thoroughly realized master of the Vedanta Sutra, and consequently, he also personally realized the commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam, and just to show his boundless mercy upon bewildered materialistic man who want to cross completely over science, he recited for the first time this confidential knowledge. There is no point in arguing that a materialistic man can be happy. No materialistic creature, be he the great Brahma or an insignificant ant, can be happy. Everyone tries to make a permanent plan for happiness, but everyone is baffled by the laws of material nature. Therefore, the materialistic world is called the darkest region of God's creation. Yet the unhappy materialist can get out of it simply by desiring to get out. Unfortunately, they are so foolish that they do not want to escape. Therefore, they are compared to the camel who releases thorny twigs because he likes the taste of the twigs mixed with blood. He does not realize that it is his own blood and that his tongue is being cut by the thorns. Similarly to the materialist, his own blood is as sweet as honey, and although he is always harassed by his own material creations, he does not wish to escape. Such materialists are called karmis. Out of hundreds of thousands of karmis, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the. What is this, bro?
It's a labyrinth, Prabhu.
What means? Labyrinth means?
It's like this.
So here are some words we never hear, right? This kind of word exists, right?
This is like labyrinth, Prabhu. You know this thing?
So this is kind of that's a bhul bhulaiya kind of thing, right, bro?
Yes, Prabhu. They call this labyrinth. That's see, place like this is labyrinth.
Means what is this for? Means for okay, means it's difficult to get out from here, right? This kind of place.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, okay, bro. I now understand it. We have called it bhul bhulaiya, you know. There is a
Yes.
term called. Uh, okay, so out of hundreds of thousands of Burmese, only a few may feel tired of material engagement and desire to get out of the labyrinth. Okay, understand, bro. Such intelligent persons are called Gyanis. The Vedanta Sutra is directed to such Gyanis. But Srila Vyasadeva, being the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, could foresee the misuse of the Vedanta Sutra um, by unscrupulous men, and therefore he personally supplemented the Vedanta Sutra with the Bhagavad Puran. It is clearly said that the Bhagavatam is the original commentary on the Brahma Sutras. Srila Vyasadeva also instructed the Bhagavatam to his own son Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was already at the liberated stage of transcendence. Srila Sukadeva realized it personally and then explained it. By the mercy of Srila Sukadeva, the Bhagavad Vedanta Sutra is available for all those sincere souls who want to get out of the material existence. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the one unrivaled commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Sripad Shankaracharya intentionally did not touch it because he knew that it would be difficult for him to surpass the natural commentary. He wrote his Saririka Bhasya and his so-called followers deprecated the Bhagavatam as some new presentation. But one should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavada school. So, Prabhu, like these Adi Shankaracharya follower, they never read Bhagavatam, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, they don't have Bhagavatam.
Oh, means because that is against their monism idea, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Monism. Okay, it's interesting. I never know this, Prabhu. One should not be misled by such propaganda directed against the Bhagavatam by the Mayavada school. From this introductory sloka, the beginning students should know that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the only transcendental literature meant for those who are Paramahamsas and completely freed from the material disease called malice. The Mayavadis are envious of the personality of Godhead, despite Sripad Shankaracharya's admission that Narayan, the personality of Godhead, is above the material creation. The envious Mayavadi can't have access to the Bhagavatam, but those who are really anxious to get out of this material existence may take shelter of this Bhagavatam because it is uttered by the liberated Srila Sukadeva Goswami. It is transcendental torchlight by which one can see perfectly the transcendental abode, absolute truth, realized as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So
Okay,
nice, so nice. Yes, bro.
Oh, we forgot to chant this verse in the
Which
beginning.
which verse, bro? This verse.
Yes, Prabhu, this is the verse that should be chanted before before every time you read Bhagavatam lecture or something like this. You should chant these verses.
Oh,
So I forgot
okay.
to chant it, and now it came to remind me that I forgot to chant it.
Yes, bro. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उद्रियत Narayanam, the personality of Godhead, Namaskritya, after offering respectful obeisances, Naram cha eva, and Narayana Rishi, Narottamam, the supreme, supermost human being, Devi, the goddess, Saraswati, the mistress of learning, Vyasdeva, Tataha, thereafter, Jayam, all that is meant for conquering, Udirat be announced. Translation. Before reciting this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is our very means of conquest, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Naranarayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasdev, the author. Purport. All the Vedic literatures and the Puranas are meant for conquering the darkest region of material existence. The living being is in the state of forgetfulness of his relation with God due to his being overly attracted to material sense gratification from time immemorial. His struggle for existence in the material world is perpetual, and it is not possible for him to get out of it by making plans. If he at all wants to conquer this perpetual struggle for existence, he must re-establish his eternal relation with God. And one who wants to adopt such remedial measures must take shelter of literature such as the Vedas and the Puranas. Foolish people say that the Puranas have no connection with the Vedas. However, the Puranas are supplementary explanation of the Vedas intended for different types of men. All men are not equal. There are men who are conducted by the mode of goodness, others who are under the mode of passion, and others who are under the mode of ignorance. The Puranas are so divided that any class of men can take advantage of them and gradually regain their lost position and get out of the hard struggle of our existence. Srila Sutta Goswami shows the way of chanting the Puranas. These may be followed by persons who aspire to be preachers of the Vedic literatures and the Puranas. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the spotless Purana, and it is specially meant for them who are desirous to get out of the material entanglement permanently. Yes, bro.
Haribo, thank you so much,
Very
Prabhu.
well. Thank you, bro. Sami.
Okay, now let's chant the six Astakam prayers. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamaha davagninirvapanam shreyah kairavachandrika vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam anandam bhutivardhanam pratipadam purnamritasvadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
नाम्नाम् अकारी बहुधा निजो सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पिता नियमित शरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिह जानी नानुरागः
तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीशा कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनिश्चरे भवतद्भक्तिरहेतु गीतये
हैनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवां बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजा स्थिततूले सदृशं विचिन्तया
नयनं गलदश्रुधाराया वदनं गद्गदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं बापू कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रविर्षायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
आश्लिष्य वा पदरतं पिनष्टु माम् अद्रासनं मर्महतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Haribol, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all that has accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditioned life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all petition and meet the 700 millions of names in these transcendental names. You have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules to chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, we endlessly you approach you by chanting your holy name, but it's not force there is no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want you cause this devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaja Nanda, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my spirit decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your holy name?
Oh Govinda, feeling a separation, I am considering to by like 12 years or more. The tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I am feeling all weakened in the body in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord. Initially, means so unique. I consider feeling his embrace or makes me broken hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, but is always my worshipful God unconditionally.
Haribo, Shri Siksastakam ki jai.
This is
Jai,
Chakra
Sri
Jai.
Sri Jai.
Au janma kareyadi shravana kirtan tabutana paya Krishna pade premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses to the holy name are as follows. First offense, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense, to
Second,
consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to identical in name of Lord Shiva.
third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
Fourth offense, to blaspheme the devotees, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in Persian to the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Sixth offense, to give some interpretations from the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as putative activities, karma kanda.
Ninth offense, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many structures on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Let us offer humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vanchakalpataru.
Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu Vaishnava Namo Namo.
Yeribo. Ananda Gaudiya Vaishnavinda ki jai. Shila Prabhupada
Ananta
ki
Krishna Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeribo.
Thank you, Sai Prabhu.
Thank you so
Jai
much
Srila
for
Prabhupada.
reading with me. It was